In today's video, we're going to be having a closer look at these two Desview monitors. This monitor over here on my left hand side is fairly new. It is the Desview R5II. Over here on the right hand side, we have the brand new Desview R72. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. LEOPAZZO Productions. Thank you very much for tuning in. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some similarities and some differences between these two monitors, and maybe it will help you decide which monitor is right for you. So starting over here on the left, the Desview R5II, this is 800 nits monitor, which is a 5.5-inch screen. We do have quite a bit of features within the menu and along the outside and exterior of the monitor that I would like to share with you guys, and there are some differences that we have here with the R72. So the R72 is going to be a fantastic option, a great option if you're going to be planning to film outdoors or even indoors, but more specifically outdoors in a bright environment. Having 2600 nits ultra high brightness as a monitor and also a nice big display screen which measures 7 inches is just going to be a pleasure to work with. Again, the 800 nits Desview R5II is also a great monitor to use. The menu and the settings and the features are very similar, and as you can see here, I do have the USB stick installed here at the bottom of the monitor. I do have the Desview mount, which is included here on the monitor. We have mounting options 1/4-inch threads at the bottom. We also do have mounting option 1/4-inch thread here on the right hand side, so we can mount this monitor horizontally or vertically. Looking over here on the left hand side of the monitor, we do have an HDMI in, we do have an HDMI out, and we also have a DC in, which we are going to shortly be powering on this monitor with this DC in right here via a V-mount battery. Again, looking here at the bottom of the monitor, we do also have this awesome feature which the Desview R72 does not have. This is a 8 volts DC out, and today we're going to be taking advantage of this 8 volt DC out because what this is going to allow us to do is power our other camera accessories. In today's video, I'm going to get a DC cable to DC cable, and I'm going to be taking the power from the Desview R5II and sending it over here to the R72 to power on the R72. Next to the DC out here at the bottom of the monitor, we do have a headphone jack. Okay, so shortly we're going to have a look at the R72 in more detail, but for now let's just continue and have a look at the rest of the R5II. At the top of the monitor, we do have the power on and off button, which is just going to allow us to power it on and off by simply holding it down for a few seconds. If we go ahead and flip the monitor around over here, you can see that we do have an option here to also power the battery via the MPF style batteries. We do have this little locking mechanism over here, which is going to lock the battery in place so it's not going to fall out. And overall, this is what the monitor is looking like and all the features that we have on the outside. I will mention that the Desview R5II does come with this little plastic casing over here, which is going to simply just snap on to the monitor. It's going to click on just like so. The R5II does come with this sun hood, sunshade right here, which has Velcro along the edges, and we can go ahead and just simply connect it like that in a matter of seconds. And now this is going to help us when we're filming outdoors in a bright environment because we actually do have a sunshade included with this kit. Okay, so now moving over here to the Desview R72, just again continuing to talk about the sunshade. The R72 does not come with the sunshade kit or some kind of little plastic framing here that's going to click onto the monitor, and I'm going to say the main reason for that is because the monitor is so bright as it is that we're probably not going to really need a sunshade when we are filming outdoors in a bright environment. So again, those are some simple differences that we can see right off the bat. So as I mentioned, 7-inch monitor, they're both touchscreens. Looking over here at the bottom of the monitor, we do have an option here for the same USB port that's going to allow us to upload our own custom 3D LUTs, just the same as the R5II. We do have the 1/4-inch thread mounting option here at the bottom of the monitor, and we also have a 1/4-inch thread mounting option over here on the right hand side of the monitor. This is the Desview mount, which is included with the kit. kit. I'm going to say this new Desview mount looks like it's nice and well built, because we do have these little holes in here that's going to allow us to install or insert a little Allen key that's going to help us tighten it up if we really need to. And we also have this little red adjustment over here that's going to allow us to loosen it so we can angle the monitor as we need to. So I think that this is going to be a great option here with the Desview R72 mounting option over here that is supplied by Desview. Again, if we look over here at the bottom of the monitor, you'll notice this little hole over here. This hole again is for the headphone jack, so if you want to plug in your headphones and monitor the audio, this has a 3.5mm headphone jack, so we can monitor the audio as so. On the right hand side, we covered that, the 1/4" thread. Looking over here at the top of the monitor, we do have the power on and off button. We do have the small LED that's going to indicate if the monitor is on. We also do have these 3 buttons here on the left hand side, which are going to be able to be programmed as a custom function button. So once we turn on the monitor and power it on, etc., we can go ahead through the menu and program these 3 buttons to act to whatever kind of settings you want to program them to. Looking over here on the left hand side, we do have an HDMI in, we do have an HDMI out, and we also do have a DC input, which is going to allow us to power the monitor, which we will be taking advantage of this option here today to power the monitor. If we go ahead and flip around the monitor on the back, again, comparison, I guess, to the R5 over here, you can see that the R7 over here looks very similar to the R5. We do have some holes for venting. We do have an option here to power the monitor via the 1 MPF battery. We do have this little locking mechanism, little button here that's going to, again, lock the battery in place and allow us to unlock to take out the battery if we need to. As far as the back of the monitor over here, there's not really much else to look at. So I think we're pretty much ready to go ahead and power on these monitors, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do it. I'm going to send an HDMI signal from my camera, which is up above right now. I'm going to go ahead and remove the sunshade from this unit here of the R5II, so we both get a nice look of both of the monitor screens. So let's go ahead and power on these monitors. I really want to show you how I'm going to be doing this today. So in today's video, I'm going to be using the CG Cin. It's a V99 V-mount battery. We do have a D-tap output here on the side of the battery. We do also have USB and USB-C, etc. outputs, but in today's video, I'm going to be using the D-tap to DC cable, which was included with the Desview R72. This cable was included, so I'm going to take advantage of that. And what I'm going to do here today, I'm going to go ahead and take the DC out from the V-mount battery. I'm going to plug it into the DC in to the Desview R5. I'm going to go ahead and hold down the power button for a few seconds here so it goes ahead and powers on. I'm going to wait for the R5II to power on, and once that's powered on, what I'm going to do next here is going to take this DC to DC cable. Okay, so this is just a standard DC to DC cable. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to plug in here at the bottom of the R5II, which is the 8-volt DC out, plug it in. Okay, and the other end of this cable, I'm going to go ahead and plug it into the DC in of the R72. Okay, so now that the R72 has power coming into it from the R52, I'm going to go ahead and hold down the power button and power on this monitor as well. Give it a couple of seconds to boot up, and there we go. As you can see, these monitors look very similar over here. You can see that the battery symbol is showing an X through it because there's no battery installed on the back of the monitor. We're powering it with the V-mount battery over here. It's also both showing that there is no signal coming through to the monitor. If you notice that if I go ahead and touch the menus look very similar, if not exactly the same. So this is the newer style menu that you can see all these symbols here at the bottom of the menu. We can go ahead and just click each one and kind of just skim through it so you guys can have an idea. But overall, there's a nice touchscreen feature that we can select all of these different options within the menu. I'm used to the original Desview monitor menu, which is clicking this menu button over here on the left, and they're kind of organized into sections, into folders. So we have exposure assist, we have focus composition, we got LUT configuration, display settings, system configuration, and the same thing goes for the Desview R5II. You can see that we have the menus all here displayed. This is the new menu style, and if I go ahead and click menu, again, I got the same options over here for the menu. So a cool feature about these two monitors that I would like to show you guys about, if you want to quickly adjust the brightness of the monitor depending on what type of environment you're in, you just want to go ahead and tap the screen, and starting over here onto the right hand side of the monitor, so from the middle over to the right hand side, if you just go ahead and drag your finger up and down, this is going to control the volume. Okay, so the same thing kind of goes for the left hand side of the screen. So starting from the middle over to the left, if you just adjust your finger up, is going to make it brighter, and down is going to make it dimmer, not as bright. So let's just go ahead in the middle point right here for the R72, and let's go ahead and adjust the R52 to the middle brightness right over here. Okay, so at least we have an idea. They're both kind of roughly set to the same ballpark. So I'm at 50% brightness, 50% brightness. We got them powered on. Now I think that we're ready to go ahead and send an HDMI signal. So I'm just going to reach over here, get the HDMI cable, which is coming from my camera that I'm filming with right now. I will mention that you guys may notice a little bit of a delay, a little bit of a latency, and that's due to possibly my camera, the HDMI out, or possibly the monitors having a slight delay over here. Okay, so now that we have the HDMI plugged into the Desview R5II via the HDMI in, what I've done here now is grabbed another HDMI cable, just a short little HDMI cable, and I'm going to take advantage of the HDMI out of the Desview R5II, and I'm going to go ahead and plug in this HDMI cable there. And what I'm going to do with this cable, if you cannot tell already, I'm going to be plugging it into the HDMI in of the Desview R72. So we're going to see pretty much exactly the same thing over here on the Desview R72. So look at this fantastic setup over here. I'm using one V-mount battery. I'm sending it power to the Desview R52, and via the output option here of the DC out, I'm sending it to the Desview R7, and I'm getting power to the Desview R7. And again, the HDMI in, which I'm sending from my camera, which I'm filming with right now, is going to the HDMI in of the Desview R52. And now the HDMI out from the Desview R52 is being sent to the Desview R7. So right off the bat, you can see some differences over here. I'm noticing right off the bat that the white in this image is looking much more brighter and whiter. In this image, the white is looking a little bit more off-white and not as bright. I say we go ahead and just double check within the menu settings that the color, the configuration of the color temperature is set to the same. So right now this monitor is set to the color temperature of 5,600 Kelvin. I say we give this monitor a chance to look the same. So system configuration, color temperature, 5,600, and bang, there we go. Now both of these monitors are looking very similar so now that both of these monitors are both looking similar in color right here, I think I'm going to go ahead and go back to the menu, and I'm going to go ahead and put it back to where it was, because that actually looked more realistic. Okay, so I'm just going to adjust the R72 to 9,300 Kelvin, because again, the white on the screen looks actually what it looks like in real life. It looks nice and white. So I'm just going to do the same thing over here. Go to menu, system configuration, color temperature, 9,300, and now both of these images on both of these screens look very identical. Again, let's go ahead and adjust the brightness of the R72 by simply just toggling up over here on the left hand side of the screen. It's at 100% brightness. This is 2,600 nits. Over here on the left hand side, let's do the same thing. Let's toggle it up so it's also at 100% brightness, which is 800 nits. You guys can see the differences right there. Again, just to kind of recap, the Desview R72 does not have the same option here as the R52 with the DC output. If you look here at the bottom of the monitor or anywhere along this monitor, we don't have the option for a DC output to power our other equipment. So seeing that feature here on the R52 is just fantastic. Let's go ahead through the menu here just so you guys can see the very similarities between these two monitors. Exposure assists, so if we click on that, we click on that. They both have false color, both got zebra, histogram, waveform, vector scope, all wave, and HDR. If we go to the next option here within the menu, which is focused and composition, we do have single color, peaking, center mark, safe area, mark ratio, grid lines, and audio meters. If we go to LUT configuration, yes, we can load our own custom LUTs via the USB stick, which is included. We do have presets that are preset on these USB sticks, but we can load our own custom LUTs. And if you wanted to do that, you just want to go ahead and click custom LUT, and you want to press search USB, and then it's going to search the USB, and you can select the LUT that you would like to use. I did make a specific video on showing you guys how to load your own custom LUTs to these Desview monitors, so I'll leave that link up above in this video or down in the description down below if you guys are interested to learn more about that. If we go to the next option here, which is display settings, I'm going to go here to display settings as well. We can see that we have aspect ratio, we got display flip, we got zoom, we got pixel to pixel, HV delay, we got freeze, we got anamorphic, and we also have battery info, which can be displayed on or off. I'm not noticing the battery info over here on this setting. For some reason, it may be in the menu configuration. As you can see right over here, battery info is in this setting right over here on the R5II. If we go to the next option here, which is system configuration, menu configuration, if we go to the next menu over here, which is system configuration, we can see that we were just in the color and the color temperature options. We got the backlight option over here on the R72. So the backlight right now is at 100%. Again, this is the brightness. We can quickly switch between standard 50% or high at 100%. We got color temperature. That's where we were in just previously. We can actually customize it. So if we're not happy with the way that the colors are looking on this monitor, for whatever reason they're not matching your camera, you will want to select going to user, and then from there you can dial down the colors so it resembles your camera screen and your camera colors more realistically. So I'm just going to go back to where we were at 9300, so everything is actually looking realistic to what my camera sees currently. So let's go to the next option here, which we have sound. We can go ahead and mute the sound, bring up the volume, etc. So again, if we're listening via headphones, we can monitor the audio. And this R72 does have actually an internal speaker which is going to play. You can see that there's an echo. This is actually taking the audio via the HDMI out, and it's sending it through the speaker here. So in most cases, I have the volume turned down. I also have it muted just in case I don't get any feedback when I'm filming, or when I want to play back the video footage that I just played, I would turn up the volume. Okay, so we got battery info, we got hotkeys. So this is where we want to go ahead and program our little 3 function buttons here at the top of the monitor, the R72. From my understanding, I'm not really seeing an option here for the hotkeys of this monitor, basically your custom function buttons, because again, at the top of the monitor, we don't even have any of those buttons that we can program for custom function options. So that is what it is with the Desview R5. You're just going to have to go into the menu and turn on those features that you want. But with the R72, we can go ahead and program the hotkey functions at the top of the monitor. So for an example, if I wanted to do F1, if I wanted to program F1 function key number 1, I can have false color on and off. If I wanted to do function 2, the button here number 2 at the top, I can turn on zebras, safe area, LUT, flip, USB search, etc. All of these I have options to pick through. So right now I have it set to histogram, and we'll just actually, let's set it to RGB waveform because I often use the RGB waveform. If I have exit assigned, so there's an exit button here at the top, I can also assign that as a custom function button, and let's set that to possibly peaking. I do have peaking on my camera right now, so really I don't need the peaking option. I can turn on grid lines if I wanted to, or maybe aspect ratio, or safe area, whatever I want to do to turn on, but you can simply go ahead and program it right there. If you need to update your monitors, you're going to want to do that right over here into the update USB. So you're going to want to download the firmware update from the Desview website. You're going to want to load it on here to the USB, plug it into the monitors, and you're going to want to go ahead and update. So you can see that this one was last updated June 20, 2022. This one was updated June 21st, 2022. So they're basically just a day apart. It looks like these monitors were probably built around the same time. And again, the status just gives you some overall general general information about the monitor. We got input, HDMI, frame, we got 24 Hertz, backlight is at 100% brightness, resolution 1080p, color temp 9300, volume. This volume is actually set to 100%. Let's go to sound and let's turn this down and put it on mute, so that's muted. See how nice and easy it is to find out the information about your monitor. Scan mode, line by line, scan mode, line by line, aspect ratio, auto, aspect ratio 16:10. We can also see the firmware version that we currently have right over here. So right now the R72 has R7X V1.1 220620, and the R52 has LV 1.3 20220621. I'm guessing that's the date. So that is as far as it goes for the firmware version over here. Our focus assist, this one does also have waveform. This one also has the focus assist. We do have the waveform. And one thing that I really do like about these monitors is the fact that I can really position the waveform here anywhere along the screen. So for an example, if whatever I'm filming is kind of in that area, I can move it away from that area. And not only can I do that, I can also adjust the transparency, so I can turn it off, I can set it to 1, I can set it to 2 or 3. So I find somewhere around the 1 or the 2 mark is pretty good, because it allows you to see through the waveform, and that way it's not totally blocking what you're trying to film. This is also another great feature right here, all wave. So if you want to turn that on, what that's going to do is turn on all the waveforms over here. We got the large RGB waveform, we got the histogram, we got the vector scope, and we can also do that over here as well. We can go to focus assist, go to all wave, and turn it on, and there you go. So this is what it's looking like right now. You will notice that actually on these monitors right now, I actually have the image set to flip, because right now my camera is filming overhead, and so by the time it actually comes down and films on these monitors, they're going to be kind of backwards. So let me just show you an example. So let's go to display settings, and let's go to image flip over here, zoom, display flip. So we go to display flip, and you'll notice that both of them are turned on, my vertical flip and my horizontal flip. So if I put it back to default, you'll notice that if you look at the screen here, it's actually upside down comparison to the R52, and that's because the R52 has those image flip and the horizontal flip, etc. activated, just like how I just had on the R72. So just keep in mind that if you're seeing some things upside down in this video, that's probably because I have the image flip set to on. So again, display settings, display flip, I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. So right now all it did was just flip the image from one side to the next. You can see that the boxes are just rotated, so that's the horizontal flip, but now I also need to do the vertical flip, and there you go. This is exactly what it is, the R52 on my left hand side and the R72 on my right hand side. So this is what it looks like, guys. Hopefully you guys learned something along the way in this video. If you guys do have any questions, feel free to reach out, let me know. I'm very pleased with both of these monitors. I'm very happy. All in all, if I were to buy these two monitors again, I'm probably going to vouch for the R72 because again, the brightness is a real kicker. It's just fantastic. I love to have an ultra bright monitor and also the nice big display screen. As far as the menu, you can see that they're very similar. They pretty much have the same thing. I can load my own custom LUTs. I got waveform, vector scope, histogram, all those kind of things, peaking, zebras. So overall, they're both great monitors, but just simply looking at it, you can see the brightness of the 2600 nits brightness on the R72 is just pleasing to work with. If you really do super duper need the 8-volt DC out, which again is a fantastic feature, as you see I'm using it here today. In most cases I would use this DC out to power my follow focus motor, the Tiltonucleus Nano, but in this case I'm just going to be powering the R72 monitor. And again, they both got HDMI ins, HDMI out, so overall they're both pleasing to work with. If I'm going to be filming indoors, I will definitely use the R52 because again, the 800 nits, but if I will be going outdoors, I'll definitely be taking the R72 because of the nits brightness. I appreciate you guys watching. If you guys do have any comments, questions, concerns, let me know down in the comment section down below, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Peace.